Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Real Housewives of Potomac Season 2, Episode 10, titled Welcome to Bermuda Triangle. But it should have been called Beef Without Purpose, because I don't know what's going on here, but this episode they tried to make it all about Charrisse and Karen and who planned the trip to Bermuda. And I'm like, who paid for the trip to Bermuda? That's who plans the trip. Do you guys know if Karen paid for the whole trip, if Charrisse paid a part of the trip, or if the ladies had to pay for their own flight and the hotel room? Like, I'm trying to understand this beef and actually care about the beef and choose sides, but at this point, it just seems like a non-issue. Go on the trip and have a good time. So the show opens up with Gizelle, and her mom is coming because she's going to watch the girls while Gizelle, goes on the trip to Bermuda. And so Gizelle is kind of tinkering on whether or not she should tell her mom that she's going to break things off with Kevin. But when she finally comes out and tell her mom that she doesn't think there's a love connection there, mom is like, just because I like him don't mean you had to like him. And sometimes these things just don't work out. And I guess her mama was like, child, I knew that man was too much for you or too good for you, and that you need somebody that's going to cheat on you and lie to you and treat you any kind of way. So let Kevin go on and find him a nice girl, and then you figure out what you're going to do with your situation. So then they were showing the girls, and they were talking, and I don't know, in these reality TV shows, seem like these kids just have a little much too influence, a little much, too much being able to say what they want to say to their parents. And I guess that's the new generation thing going on, where they're treating the kids like they are adults. But I know in my house that wouldn't be happening. And so one thing I did notice is that the older Gizelle girls get, the more they look like Jamal. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So then we go over to Robyn's house, and her kids are working her nerves too, being grown and flipped. And so they ask Robyn where Juan is, and when she says that he went golfing, the kids, like in a chorus, both of them said, he's lying, he's not gone golfing, or he doesn't know how to golf. But anyway, they saw through the bull crap, and they were like, where's our dad at? So I think Robyn said that she didn't even leave the kids with Juan. She may have left the kids with her parents also, which I think is messed up since he's living in the house with her. So Robyn says that she didn't tell Juan, what the therapist told her about going out on dates and, seeing if she can find somebody else. And she says that she didn't tell him because Juan probably wouldn't want to hear about her going on dates, and that he probably would have tried to flatten the tires on her car to keep her from going. So anyway, Robyn. Then we move over to Karen and the Black Bill Gates, or the not Bill Gates that Charrisse called it, because she really thinks that Karen and her man are having financial trouble. So the house is all packed up, and the two are having a conversation, as he's driving Karen to the airport. And Karen pretty much says that would probably be the last time that she see the house. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So I guess Ray will be moving everything into the new house when Karen is gone. And so Karen, is basically telling him about the beef between her and Charrisse, and who planned the party, and who planned the trip, and whose trip it is, and all of this other nonsense. And then, she talks about Monique and Gizelle, and how she wished that the two of them can get along. And so, he was being a good husband and listening to her, giving his little advice that really amounted to nothing. But I'm trying to figure out why Karen doesn't want anybody to know where she's moving to. So I need to look up and see what, I think she said the community is called Great Falls, or the city is called Great Falls. So I guess it's a downgrade from Potomac, and she doesn't want the other ladies to know, but she seems to be really concerned about letting them know where she has moved to. So then Charrisse, she shows up at the airport when she gets out. I think it was an Uber. She's looking for a tip for the driver, and she says, oh, all I have is 50s. And I'm sitting there saying, now if you close your wallet up and not give that woman a tip, I'm going to be through with you. But then she pulled out one of the bills and handed it to the driver and was like, oh, it must be your lucky day. So I'm like, okay, Charrisse. He's like, good save. So I don't know if she gave the driver a 50 or if she found a 20 or a 10 stuffed down in her wallet. But she did give the driver something. So when they're on the plane, you know, the women are giving shout outs about their expectations for the trip and, you know, how they want to have a good time and hope everybody gets along. And poor Robyn, she was knocked out. I guess those boys have worn her out and she needed this trip just to get a good sleep in. So Robyn asked Gizelle, they were at the hotel and everybody was checking into their room, so they were looking out on the ocean. And Robyn had a Portia Williams moment because she asked Gizelle, was that the Atlantic Ocean? I was just like, girl, are you serious? So while they were on the bus headed to the hotel, Charrisse lets the women know, you know, it was her birthday and also her anniversary. And she said that she had sent Eddie a text the night before, you know, saying happy anniversary. So they were like, oh, did he reply? So she lets them know that he never responded to the text. And I got to be thinking, you know, you have to be real careful, you know, when you have a special day, so your birthday is special, don't be trying to get married on your birthday or have other memorable events on your birthday, because if it doesn't work out, you know, in Charisse's case, her and Eddie are getting a divorce. So now every time her birthday rolls around, she's got to be thinking about her failed marriage. So that's a little tale of caution for you guys out there that's planning to get married. Don't be getting married on your birthday, because if it don't work out, you know, you don't want to be thinking about that, you know, when you should be celebrating another year of life. So all the women are confused about whose trip it is and making a big issue about it, because when they got to the airport, I don't know if it was the airport when they were leaving or the airport when they got there, but Karen had a sign out saying Huebner party. And so then when they checked into their hotel rooms, each room had a gift basket with a personalized note from Karen thanking them for coming on the trip and telling them, you know, she hopes that they all have a good time. So then they're talking to Charrisse and telling Charrisse, you know, about the gift baskets, and Charrisse, you know, she's all in her feelings and the women are just fueling the fire. And so she says that, oh, let me go to my room because that heifer better not have a gift basket in my room. But sure enough, when she got in there was a gift basket waiting for her. So like I said, I don't know why it is such a big issue, but I guess they need some kind of tension while they're on this trip, and this is going to be the tension, you know, arguing over who planned the trip and whose trip it is. So then Karen, you know, she's out with the event planner at the hotel, and so she's planning this special dinner. But the dinner is set up like out on the green somewhere on the compound of the hotel, on the property of the hotel. And so when the ladies get dressed and come out for dinner, they're all wearing heels, but they got to walk across this grass. Like there's no walkway or anything. I think they cross like the driveway and then they're out on this piece of land. So they're trying to get across the land in their heels, and then she has like cocktail tables set up, and then they have a dinner table under a tent, you know, where they're going to have dinner at. And so instead of enjoying the trip and being grateful, you know, the women are still harping on whose trip it is, you know, and I just want to know, was the trip free? Did they have to come out of pocket for the trip? And what difference does it make? You're in Bermuda, have a good time. So Karen, you know, she's going all out, and they have like the Goombay dancers come out and dance with the ladies, and Charrisse was running late, so she got caught up in the dancers and ended up, you know, joining the processional out to the table. So they all get seated, and then Charrisse says something about if she had helped plan the party, that there would have been a ceiling fan under the tent, because I guess it was a little hot out there for the ladies, and they were all sweating and fanning themselves and everything. And I'm just like, just enjoy yourself, please. So they get to, you know, bickering back and forth about who would have planned a better dinner. So Robyn changes the conversation by telling the group about her therapy session and going on a date. And so Karen calls BS. You know, she says that Robyn knows good and well she's not going on a date because, you know, she's in love with Juan and she doesn't want to leave Juan. And so she'll believe it when she see it, you know, that Robyn is being serious about dating somebody else. So then Karen lets the ladies know that she got a cash offer on her house and is moving, But, like I said, she still seems hesitant in letting them know where she's moving to. And Ashley keeps asking the question, well, where are you moving to? Where's your new house at? Where are you moving to? And Karen is about this close from cussing Robyn out. Not Robyn, but Ashley. I could just feel it. But, Karen wasn't trying to answer the question no matter how many times they asked. So then after dinner, the ladies get to talking. And so Charrisse says that she flew in her stylist. So if anybody needed to use the stylist, that she would make him available. And then Karen says that she also brought her stylist. And Ashley over on the side throwing shade, talking about Karen's face do be beat, so she wouldn't mind using Karen's stylist, makeup artist. But she ain't fooling with the hair piece because of Karen's receding hairline. But then later on in the show, Robyn, I don't know why I keep saying Robyn. Later on in the show, Ashley had her hair pulled up in a ponytail. And I'm thinking, like, your hairline starts back as far as Karen's hairline starts back. So I know we're not about to have a battle of the foreheads here. And besides, big foreheads are beautiful. I happen to have one myself. So Karen is being super duper messy because I thought that Karen was going to plan the opening dinner, the welcome dinner for the ladies, and then the next day Charrisse was supposed to plan a boat trip for the ladies. But here come Karen talking about the Black Bill Gates has pulled strings and he's gotten this boat called the America's Cup, which is, I guess it's like some kind of competition sporting boat or something. And so she's decided to take Gizelle and Monique out on this boat to keep Charrisse out of it, because she says that whenever Charrisse inserts herself in trying to work things out with Monique and Gizelle, it never turns out right. So she doesn't want Charrisse to be a part of it. So it's going to be her, Monique, and Gizelle going on this boat. So she asks Gizelle, did she want to go, and said that she could only bring 2 people. So of course Gizelle said she wanted the other person to be Robyn. But then she turns around, and I think she went and talked to Robyn maybe and told Robyn what was going on, but that she was going to get Monique to go. So then she goes to Monique, and Monique is like, oh sure, I would love to go. But of course Gizelle nor Monique know that they are the 2 people that's going, and they don't find out until they actually get on the bus that's going to take them to the boat. And so Karen is explaining, her idea behind what she's doing and why she's doing it, and she just wants the ladies to get along. So while they're on the bus, we got the back and forth, like, you're jealous of me, you're insecure. And I'm just like, well, both of y'all grow up, because this is like, doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be traveling in the same circle and on this show together, can we move on to some other drama? Because this, what y'all got going on, ain't working for none of us. When they got to that boat, I'm thinking it was going to be like just a boat. They were going to go out on the boat, but it was because it was a famous boat that made it special. But no, it was like a competition boat where they have to, so there's 2 smaller boats on the side, and they have to get from the one boat, climb across, I don't know what this thing was. It had like a net, and the sails was fanning all around. So they had to get from one side to the other side and into the other boat, which I guess is some kind of competition, maybe in the Olympics or something that people do. I don't know. But anyway, they're on the boat, and, Karen is trying to get them, to get along. So Gizelle is putting forth the effort. Karen goes first, and she gets across. So it's Gizelle and Monique still sitting on the boat. And Gizelle is being nice and confident, and telling Monique, to relax, and it's going to be fun, and everything's going to be okay. And they go to the confessional, and of course Monique is like, what? She's being nice, she can't receive it. So then Gizelle, she gets across and gets on the boat. So then when it's Monique's time to get across, I think she fell and she got hit by the sail, but eventually she did make it across on to the other side. And then while they were all 3 on the other boat, Gizelle and Monique, they hugged. So I guess they made up and they are going to become friends. So they're back over with Robyn, Charrisse, and Ashley. So Robyn lets them know, what was going on with the other ladies, and that, Karen had planned this excursion for Gizelle and Monique. So of course, Charrisse got upset about it, and they're all mad that they got ditched by Karen and saying that she's being divisive in the group and everything. So the three amigos go to the beach and they go jet skiing, and they seem to have a whole lot of fun. So they didn't miss the other three. So everybody had a good time on their outing, but of course that wasn't good enough because they're still mad at Karen, because she did something separate from the rest of the group. So after everybody goes on their little excursions and get back to the hotel, Charrisse lets Ashley and Robyn know that she planned her little sunset dinner cruise, and she doesn't care if Karen knows about it and if she misses the boat or not. So they get to talking about, whose trip it was and why is Karen acting this way, and they thought they were in on it together and blah, 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 blah. So then they push Robyn up to go confront Karen about why she's acting the way she's acting, and wasn't it both of their trips. And so Robyn goes down to Karen's room and she's like bam 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 on the door like she's the police or somebody, and I'm like, seriously? So she goes barging into the room and she confronts Karen, and her and Karen have some words back and forth, and Karen's like, girl, if you don't get the hell up out of my room with this nonsense. And so the show pretty much ended at that point, and I guess part 2 of this foolishness will pick up next week. But it was such a dumb episode, and I thought last week's episode was a filler episode, but I don't know. This week wasn't that eventful either, so I don't know if the season is going to get better, or if we're nearing the end of the season, or what's going on. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Leave your comments below. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel. And have a great week. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.